In this demonstration, we'll talk about scanning your environment and the three options you have when it comes to scanning your environment. The first option being the quick scan option, which will provide you with some top-level insights and the ability to make decisions really quickly. You'll then also have the option to turn on indexing, which will go in and index all of the words within your unstructured data set. And then the third option allows you to apply automated classification policies against those indexed words. To begin, let's talk about how to configure quick scans within your environment. Quick scanning is a really great way to populate this initial dashboard with some great insights so you can make some decisions on what you'd like to do with redundant, obsolete, or trivial data that's present in your environment. And it can give you a really great idea of what information you have in your unstructured data sets. Quick scan will give you the following information about your files: data by location type, data owners, events, files by creation date, files by last access date, files by modification date, file types by extension, permissions, system information, and task status. To begin, you can see in the left tree menu, I've already configured an aggregator collector, but it is still offline as I haven't installed the installer package yet. So before we install the installer package for either the aggregator collector or the collector within your environment, we'll want to configure the policy settings. Click Policies in the upper menu, and we'll want to uninherit from Aparavi and define our scan paths where our data is located. In my case, the data is local, but if yours is located in a shared path, you'll want to make sure you click on Credentials and provide credentials for that shared path as well. We'll then come in under Settings, and we'll once again uninherit from Aparavi, and we'll disable indexing, which will subsequently also disable classification. By disabling indexing and classification, this tells the Aparavi platform that we wish to perform a quick scan. So now go ahead and click Save All Changes, and what we'll do is go ahead and install the installer for the aggregator collector in my environment. Now that the aggregator collector is online within my environment, the initial scan will kick off within a few minutes of the aggregator collector coming online. You can view the status of the initial scan by selecting Dashboard in the upper menu and clicking on Status. Now that the initial scan has kicked off, we'll simply wait a few minutes for this initial scan to finish. It may take longer in your environment depending on the size of the data set that we're performing the quick scan on. Once the initial quick scan has completed, you'll see that it completely disappears from the Current Tasks tab. If you wish to view it, you can click on the History tab to view the initial scan. We'll click on the main page to take a look at the widgets for all the information that we've collected with the quick scan. You'll see that Files by Classification is not populated as we have not executed any automated classification policies against our unstructured data set. But what we can glean from this information is things like files by last access date, files by modification date, files by creation date, and file types by extension. With these four widgets, this can really help us to reduce the data footprint size potentially prior to performing a more in-depth scan against our unstructured data sets. This will reduce the overall time it takes to index our data because we reduce the number of files that the Aparavi platform has to really thoroughly index and classify. Now, let's take a look at how to configure indexing. We'll go over to the Policies option in the menu bar and click on Settings, and we'll enable indexing and click Save All Changes. By enabling indexing, the Aparavi platform will automatically kick off another scan task, and once again you'll be able to view that scan task by clicking on Dashboard and clicking on Status. As you can see, the scan task has already kicked off, and we'll let this complete. So while this second scan is completing, let's talk about what we've done by enabling indexing. Indexing actually allows for full text search of all processed files, and once enabled, all the different supported file types will be scanned and indexed as they're processed. And once again, once the indexing scan task completes, it'll disappear from the Current Task tab and move over to the History Task tab. As you can see, not much here has changed within our dashboard, but what we've done is we've actually indexed all of the words within our unstructured data set. So now we can come in under Files or under Reports and query for specific contextual data. For example, I can search for any one of these different properties, including content, and search for particular words within my unstructured data set as we've indexed all of those words. If I perform this search here, it'll pull up the number of documents that actually contain a search hit context containing the word Sean. You can then, of course, once again export this information out in Excel or PDF and create that streaming link. You can also view metadata associated with this particular file. Now, let's move on to how we can actually classify all of the words that we've already indexed. We'll once again click on Properties in the upper menu bar and click on the Classification tab. We'll uncheck Inherit from Aparavi and add any one of over 140 predefined classifications that we may be interested in. In our case, let's look specifically for personally identifiable information using the U.S. Personal Data Policy. You do also have other options for finance, health, government, GDPR, any one of the particular states' privacy acts as well are available here. So once you have the policies that you're interested in applying, go ahead and select them, click OK, and then click on the Settings tab. We'll then proceed to Enable Classification, and then click Save All Changes. Once again, it'll kick off another scan task, and you'll be able to view the status of that scan task by clicking on Dashboard and clicking on Status and actually taking a look at the current task status. We'll wait for this scan to complete before proceeding. Now that the classification scan task has disappeared from the current task tab, we know that it is completed, and we can click on the main page of the dashboard to see that the Files by Classification widget is now populated with the U.S. Personal Data Policy. We can further dive into the Files by Classification by leveraging either the File Explorer or the reports. We'll take a look at the File Explorer again, and we can search for the classification type and then search for U.S. Personal Data Policy. If I click search here, it'll pull up all of the results that have been flagged for the U.S. Personal Data Policy. And you'll be able to choose a particular file, view the metadata, and see the confidence factor associated with this particular policy hit. You can also choose Manage Fields and be able to add additional information like the classification hit, leading and trailing words, and also the particular rule hit against the classification for that document. You'll see all of the hits associated with that particular document if you choose this option. Simply drag and drop the options you want and then hit OK. This will perform the query again to display the newly added columns. While the query may take longer to complete, when it is done, you'll be able to view the classification hit rules for any particular document. For example, within this document, I can now see that not only is it hitting the U.S. Personal Data Policy, but I can actually see that it contains not only U.S. postal mailing addresses, but also phone numbers within the document. And that's the big benefit of having not only the words indexed within the document, but being able to automatically apply classification policies against those index words. And with over 140 different classification policies to choose from and the ability to create custom classification policies, this is a really powerful engine within the Aparavi platform. In this demonstration, we showed you how easy it was to configure the Aparavi platform for the 3 different scanning options. We also show you how to get quick initial scan results with the quick scan capability. And then we showed you how you could intelligently apply different settings to meet the different needs within your environment depending on the different data sets. Thank you for your attention. If you'd like to learn more, please go to get.aparavi.com.